Thank you for joining us, William. And do I need to unmute everyone? Or is everyone unmuted? William, you've got your hand up. Does that mean you can't talk?
Shall we wait just like also a couple of minutes so people just like realize that we're on? Did you guys tell your community that it's going to be on SUN, on some main channel?
Yes, we did. We told them in our Telegram group chat.
Okay, great. So let's just like wait a couple of minutes maybe, and then we start.
Yeah, sure.
And then what I might do, if no one minds, is I might actually, I might just record it as well, and then we can make a decision, Darius, as well, whether we want to kind of post that for other people who maybe weren't able to join, because then our community can get to know about the Crazyrichcoin a little bit later when they wake up in whatever parts of the world they're in.
Yeah, cool. That'll be great. That'll be great. Thanks.
Great. So I'm just trying to. Oh, here we go. Right. So William, I don't know why, but I had to allow you to speak, I think. So you should find that you're off mute now.
All right, it's good now. Thanks.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know why. I don't know why that was. Okay, well, it's 2 minutes past. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start recording, and then should we get going? We'll just start off, yeah, and then people will join us when they're ready.
So we still have one more member, Nicole, who is our CMO. She's trying to join in now. I believe she needs to verify or something first before coming in.
Yes, it might take people a while to connect in with our. Yeah, we've been part of a number of launches with DeFi Angels and some groups we've been part of, and when we created the coin, we left it without a portal for a good few hundred members, but then we kind of saw how people were getting attacked by bots, so we kind of wanted to avoid that. So we kind of had to put that portal on just to protect ourselves from all those kind of bot attacks you get in Telegram groups. So it does make it a bit more time consuming for people to come in.
Okay, cool. I think William got kicked because he did not verify in the bot. I think he's doing it right now.
That's all right, don't worry. Have you got the same sort of thing, Darius, on your side? Have you got a portal? I can't remember what I had to click on when I came in your group.
I think we don't have a portal, but ours is more of like there's a verification before. Yeah. If let's say you didn't key in the sum up, right, then you'll be kicked. Yeah. But there's no second portal or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we're trying to be too secure for our own good.
Yeah, I totally understand, because there's like a lot of bots nowadays, right?
Yeah, and I think some of them they just try kind of hundreds of combinations of the the kind of picture click just to get themselves in. So some of these bots are getting quite sophisticated now.
Oh, sorry. William said I think he got blacklisted or something. So probably can blacklist him or something.
If you ask him to DM me, what's his hang on. That's funny. Hang on. I'm just looking for William in your chat.
Sure.
Here we go. Got him here. Right, I'll add him in.
Cool.
Hey guys, sorry, there's some issue with my Telegram account with the group chat, so I use another account to came in here, right?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. You're back in. That's good.
Okay, great. Thanks. Sorry.
No, that's okay. We wondered whether you'd been blacklisted out or something, but okay, you're back.
Yeah, I think my previous account came in without a captcha, so somehow you just managed to go in.
We were just saying that we get quite a few people. Quite a few people that have problems with it, just because it sorry, can be a bit temperamental. So probably doesn't do us any good in the numbers, but it's good for. We were part of a bot attack. We got rid of them all, so our numbers don't, are true numbers. But we kind of got scared. We added a portal on quite early before our launch, so just to avoid any problems. But anyway, right. Well, do we have everyone, Darius, then from your team? Who do we have? So we've got William, Darius, and do we have Nikki? Was it?
I'm here as well. I'm Don.
So Donovan is one of the co-founders as well, and Nicole is our chief marketing officer, and William is our developer. Yeah, so everyone's here. Cool.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll start recording, and then we'll keep.
Sure. Awesome.
Great. Right. I think we're recording. So, I'll kick off since we're in the Sun chat. So my name's Chris, and I'm the kind of program manager for SUN, and I call myself the program manager because we had a launch that was planned 2 weeks ago. We delayed it a couple of weeks so that I could create a corporation offshore that could run our project, which is an investment fund. So I live in the UK. And under UK regulation, we have to be very well. It's regulations that's coming thick and fast into the UK as it is across the world, which I think is quite a good thing that we've got regulation happening in the crypto space. But we're now launching on the 14th of February because we've had to kind of had that little delay while I set up a corporation to kind of run SUN. And once we're live, we'll be seeking kind of regulatory approval quite quickly in Europe so that we can manage our project in a proper licensed and regulatory kind of space across Europe. But we're very proud and pleased to say that one of the kind of key objectives of SUN is to kind of expand and support other projects through collaboration. And we're really pleased that the Crazyrichcoin team are joining us today as a part of an AMA, a kind of joint kind of collaboration of our communities, so that we can look for synergies in our projects and kind of grow through mutual kind of collaboration of our community. So welcome Darius and your team. Do you want to just quickly introduce the Crazyrichcoin and your team and who's on the call today? That would be really great to start.
Yeah, sure. So thank you, Chris, and thank you for SUN community for having us. So with here in our team, we have me, Darius. I'm one of the co-founder. Donovan is one of the co-founder as well. He's also a hotelier. He owns ST Hospitality, which owns a few hotels as well, and with starting assets of 500 million USD. And then we have Nicole, who is also a celebrity DJ. International, and also she's helping us to do the marketing. And then we have William, who is our developer. Yeah, so maybe Donovan, are you all right to introduce CRC to the group? Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Don.
I know.
I'm one of the co-founders of CRC, Crazyrichcoin. So actually, we started this in November. Initially, we wanted to create a meme coin, which was trending at the moment. And the name and the inspiration was actually from the movie Crazy Rich Asian. So, but however, along the way, as we thought deeper into it, we decided to pivot to a more functional token, comprising real estate, metaverse, NFTs, and fractionalized ownership in both the real world and the virtual world. So also because my background in real estate and hospitality, so I run 6 hotels 2 service apartments and 300 apartments in Singapore. And so actually, our CRC Crazy Rich project is a very fundamental problem that when we first created, we were trying to solve. So actually, as globally, especially during this COVID situation, real estate prices skyrocketed. So the incomes of our millennials and Gen Zs cannot keep pace with the real estate prices. So there's a mismatch in income, and this rising house prices are making this real estate asset class very inaccessible to them. So actually, through our project, we're trying to redefine real estate ownership through the use of blockchain technology, and also creating a real estate metaverse to help to bridge this gap. So we want to make it possible for millennials and Gen Zs to come together to co-own a virtual or real-world estate through our platform.
Yeah, it's groundbreaking. You know, you're really, by the sound of it, and I've read deep into your project, and you're really on the frontier of this space. And you know, Metaverse is, I believe, is going to be one of the real leading expansion areas throughout 2022. So yeah, and I think you're timed perfectly for it. And you know, you've got a really strong team, which is what really captured my interest. And you know, despite what the utility is, I think if you've got a strong team, then you can invest based on that strength, let alone. But you've got a really great idea. So just I mean, I'll talk about some of the kind of synergies that I think perhaps kind of SUN might have with you guys, but it might be worth, if you don't mind, just continuing and just letting us know where you are on that roadmap, because it kind of sounds like a very long roadmap. You know, when people think about property, people think about, you know, this isn't a kind of a fast turnaround project. It's a roadmap that's going to strengthen as time goes on. So kind of, can you just give us the SUN kind of viewers a little bit of an overview of what your kind of roadmap looks like, you know, just a kind of summary, and where you are on that roadmap? I think that might be really useful.
Oh yes, definitely. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, we just crossed our phase 1, which is hitting our 1,000 holders. So currently, as you know, that we have launched our BSC bridge as well, because we understand that the gas fees are expensive on the Ethereum network. So yeah, that's why we accommodate to launch the BSC bridge earlier on in phase 2. Right now, our main focus is to push our NFTs, which is a collaboration with ST Hospitality. So this NFTs right now is being pushed by many celebrity influencers, and this is the whitelisting. Yeah. So with these NFTs, it'll be used in our metaverse later on, and also there's a surprise element with a real world utility usage. So yeah, if let's say you were to own an NFT, you'll be able to use it with one of the hotels or any of the establishment under ST Hospitality. So yeah,
wow.
Stay tuned.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's brilliant. So you really are bridging that gap between the real world and the metaverse. That's so cool. Yeah. So what does your next kind of month look like then? So where you know, it's a long road, but where do you think you'll be in kind of like a month's time?
Okay, so in a month's time, because right now our NFT, our minting will be around the end of this month or the early month in March. So that is when we'll push our NFTs out. We'll also be looking at collaborating with not only ST Hospitality, but different real estate developers or operators across the globe, so as to help them to launch their NFTs and also to incorporate their real world usage in it. So with that, we're actually building a community. So for us, I mean, Chris, if you look at the pricing, it's all about speculation going up and down. To us, we're not really that bothered, because once we have enough holders that we reach onto our phases, we'll be able to bring on all our real estate developers, and that is when our value goes up. Because after all, we're aiming for a launch pad, right?
Yeah, I get you. Well, So we'll come back to that because I've got one or two more questions useful, but it might be worth me just kind of mentioning something about SUN at this point, because some of your team may not fully know what SUN is, but it's worth me just giving us a 60-second overview. So there are kind of two parts to our program. There's a kind of a very basic token, which takes 10% tax on the way in and 10% tax on the way out. So it's kind of 20% round trip. And half of that taxation goes into an investment fund. So we're launching on Ethereum, and like you, we're moving across to Polygon and BSC quite quickly in our roadmap. So within the first month, we'll be across those new blockchains. But we launch on ERC, and so all the taxation builds up this investment fund very quickly, and we're going to use the investment fund to trade, to kind of invest in other cryptocurrencies and other crypto projects. That's the whole kind of utility of the project, is to use this investment fund to vet projects that could use our partners, the DeFi Angels, and use Pisipo for our NFT collaborators, and we're kind of trying to merge together, just like this community, with 4 others at the moment, to kind of have that mutual expansion of Telegram numbers and kind of merge our communities to, or not merge, but kind of join our communities together from in a conversational side, just to kind of have that kind of non-paid organic expansion. So that's going to enable the SUN token to kind of have that kind of growth. Now, so the token's one side of it, and the smart contract's very simple. It's only a kind of small amount of code, because all it's doing is literally just taking that taxation. But the second part of the business is what we're calling this advisory team. So we're building a team of kind of crypto experts, investment specialists, people that kind of have advanced information and knowledge of what projects are coming through the pipeline, projects that we know that they're on a trajectory to success. Just as you're kind of describing your roadmap, we're trying to kind of identify projects that are going to be, on this kind of successful path with strong teams. And in doing so and identifying these projects, we're going to be able to use our investment fund to invest in really sensible investments. It's kind of that straightforward. And so this team of advisors, investment people, they don't have to hold the SUN token. They're a kind of a separate part to the business, but they're incentivized by incentivized to provide us with information. So the way that our tokenomics work is that when the investment fund makes profit through its investment activity, 80% of the profit goes back to all of our SUN token holders. So if you hold SUN as a token, as our investment fund starts to work, and we make our first investment on day 2 when we go live. So we go live on the 14th of February next week, and we start trading on the 2nd day of our launch. And so we'll be generating profit, within those weeks that follow, in the first weeks that follow. 80% of the profit goes back via community vote. So you will get to vote as to whether you want an ETH airdrop, whether you want a buyback and burn, whether you want the money to be put in liquidity, whether you want us to wrap it and send you Solana. I mean, it really doesn't matter to us. As long as there's a technological solution, we'll provide our holders with the rewards however they like. And then the other 20% goes to the advisor who made the recommendation. So one of the things I'm trying to draw in, other than individuals who have a speciality, are other projects that can really bring a value to SUN. So for me, Metaverse, I believe, is going to be a huge part of 2022. And so some of the Metaverse activity that you're going to be dealing with, and projects that want to launch eventually on your launch pad that are Metaverse related, that synergy with SUN, where we really want to bring in talent into our team, and incentivize people to do so, and then so that we can we've got people vetting projects and understanding the Metaverse area better than we will, because you're the experts. Well, we can kind of help work together to bring Metaverse activity into the kind of into the sphere of SUN, but then in return we're providing some of those projects with investment that we'll do on a strategic basis, and as introducers to some of this Metaverse stuff, then obviously there's also incentives to your token, because we'll be kind of pumping that profit back in as the person recommending the activity. So there's kind of like, so I'm doing this with, there's kind of play to earn teams that we're working with at the moment. There's a great company called, or project called Hay Fever that are doing our kind of arcade play to win activity and a launch pad. And so we're really trying to identify great projects like yours that, you know, other than the kind of bringing the communities together, because they're both vibrant communities, it's also trying to look for ways that projects can kind of collaborate together, just to kind of help each other expand. And I'm really excited by some of the things you said there, particularly as you say, a bit like us with Ethereum, the network fees, although in the future Ethereum might fix that and we may find that Ethereum fees are lower, moving to other blockchains. I think that's a really important part of our of what we need to do to expand. So may I ask about kind of the marketing then? So how are you, do you have kind of in-house marketing, or have you developed kind of large external kind of sort of strategic kind of marketing companies to do your work? Because before you answer, part of my little speech there about bringing communities together is what we're doing in our marketing. As we start to collaborate with other communities and teams, we're kind of linking their project into all our marketing to kind of help share knowledge of the other communities as part of that kind of organic growth. So I'm just interested in how you're kind of spreading the news of your Crazyrichcoin.
Nicole, are you?
I'm sorry. Oh, for marketing?
Yeah, I'm just interested in what your approach is.
Oh, okay. So for the marketing, we have several influencers of probably like 100 of them with almost 100 million exposure from different types of industry, from the lifestyle industry to the crypto industry and so on and so forth. Therefore, we're going to push that for our NFTs, which are coming up soon. Yes. And then, hold on, that's right. Anything else, Darius, that we missed out on?
Yeah, so actually, Nico and I, right, before doing this whole crypto thing and all, we actually run a advertising agency as well for social media and all. That's why you have all these contacts.
Right. So you're able to manage some of it in-house a lot because you've already got that good starting position.
Yes, correct, exactly. So that's why we were able to shout out for Crazy Rich. And also besides that, we've been doing quite a few AMAs with different communities, and we're also exploring different expos and conventions such as Metaverse, the upcoming Bitcoin Miami, and also there is a crypto conference in Singapore. Yeah, so we're not only doing it online, but we're also approaching it with physical means and all.
Yeah, the DeFi Angels, they were at the Bitcoin conference recently, and it's an incredible place for networking. It's really worth going to. Yeah. So okay, well, so you were talking before about other kind of collaboration. So what are you looking for then? In, you know, obviously we haven't launched yet. We're a very young token. You're established, and we're lucky to be able to kind of talk to you and your team. So, but you know, from a kind of feature collaboration, it sounds like you already have a very strong base. You've got a lot of real world companies that are that are supporting you and kind of providing you with that stability. So, you know, in terms of working with SUN, and you know, just as a kind of starting position, what is it you're looking for in some of your partners and collaborators?
So in collaboration wise, definitely we want to collaborate with communities that believe in the in our vision, right, of Crazyrichcoin, whereby we are able to so-called merge the real world usage and also to crypto. Another thing is for mass adoption. I think that's what every project wants to do as well in the crypto world, is to merge real world with the crypto space.
Yes.
But besides, like you mentioned, besides real-world real estate developers, operators, we're also looking at collaborating with different metaverse projects as well, because after all, we're also doing metaverse for NFTs. So it will be cool if we are able to bridge different metaverse games and even worlds together with Crazyrich Real Estates. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll have to educate me a little bit, because I'm kind of slightly new to the metaverse. But when people talk about play to earn games and metaverse, do you see your business case around kind of solely real estate, or when you talk about metaverse, are you talking about kind of gaming as well, or what's your definition of metaverse? Is it purely in terms of metaverse real estate, or is it broader than that?
Okay, William probably can help answer this.
Right. So for the metaverse that we are talking about over here, right? Yes, there's definitely certain element of gamifications over here, but it's not so much like a play to earn type of concept, but definitely it's more of owning your virtual asset within, and of course we are making things possible in terms of customization and utilities. Right, and when we talk about metaverse real estate, there are plenty of utilities other than the base as a core usage, whereby all these NFTs has a certain APY or that you can stake for, and other than this itself, you can actually do a lot of, like, customization in your room, your NFT room, and you can actually turn your certain shop space into a shop for demonstration. You can actually even put it up into like an exhibition hub central for other NFT to be listed on your in your room, like a museum, right? So with certain traffic, certain that's why the value actually comes to your metaverse NFT itself, and just like a usual retail shop. So that's a main concept. So it's a customization tool that we are going to provide in this metaverse simulation that we have for the owner to be able to build and create from within, and that's a cool things that they have, and they can have ownership on all these shops and lands that we are going to issue out.
Wow. So going back to the roadmap then, so where some of that's in place, but where do you sort of, is that kind of like just described there, is that kind of part of the 12-month plan, or is that kind of 6-month plan, or is that like the full 2-year roadmap that you've just described? Kind of is, where just going back to the roadmap, just to kind of help people understand where are you at the moment? What's the journey to get there? You mentioned obviously the NFTs in the next month. So what's the kind of path to success for you guys to achieve that? Because that's bold. That's incredible.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, nice. Okay, well, that's fine. So I don't know, have you guys got any questions for us, or I mean, there's so much there. I mean, actually, before I answer, where's the best place then for all our community members to understand more? Because there's a huge amount in what you've just told us. So is going to your white paper the best place for SUN community to find out more? Obviously, we can pop into your chat and we'll encourage people to kind of go in and ask questions. But is a lot of that what you've said documented, or is that kind of like a verbal overview?
So most of it right now, it's more verbal, but because with our white paper, we are always upgrading as we hit all our phases, right? So currently our white paper is more towards it's a bit vague, but if let's say you have any questions the SUN community wants to ask, or even yourself, Chris, feel free to ask us in our Telegram. You can even DM us as well. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, and we're the same. We're exactly the same as you. We kind of in our heads, you know, we have a vision of where you want to get to, and I've got in my head a very long-term vision for Sun. But sometimes it's very difficult to put it down on a kind of white paper, and so I don't think some people realize how long it takes to put these white papers together as well. So um, I totally understand that, you know, that, and that's why these AMAs are great, because you get to hear about the real vision over and above what's in the what you read on the white paper. So I think it's really good that you've described it all. So do you have any questions for Sun? Otherwise, we'll start letting you go.
Maybe I just have one question. So you are saying that Sun will be investing into different projects and tokens, right? So how many are you aiming for, and what is the roadmap like?
Yep. Sorry, I just had to just kicked out of the room I was in there. Just give me 2 moments.
Oh no.
Just going to move somewhere else. Yes, so it's a very good question. So the intention is that on the 14th of February we'll be starting off with we've already undertaken a pre-sale and private sale, and we're actually in the process of collecting the Ethereum right now that will kind of fund the liquidity, and it will also provide us with a starting balance for our investment wallet. And obviously on day one, as we start trading, all the tax will then start quickly topping that up and filling it up for trade. So our first trade is going to be, our first investment is going to be on the Tuesday next week, on day 2 of our launch. And how many we invest in will really depend on kind of 2 or 3 main factors. The first thing is how much advice comes in from our advisors, because I'm not standing in front of the whole team saying I'm an investment expert. I'm 43 years old. My background is program management, so I've spent 20 years working as a program planner, mainly for banks in the UK. And so I'm kind of like good at putting together teams and programs of work. And so the investment advice is coming from this advisory team that we're pulling together, and it'll have a max size of 50. And so it really depends on what and how fast advice comes into the team. Now we're expecting quite a lot, and that will be a mix of real kind of long-term holds and some short-term holds. So the numbers really depend on what comes in. The second part is it depends on the due diligence that we go through, because we're not going to invest in anything that hasn't gone through some pretty decent due diligence. And our white paper, which is quite long, details we call it our lines of defense. So it's the kind of process that we go through to make sure that we're investing in only safe projects with solid and understood owners and developers. So, but I mentioned some of these projects that we're collaborating with, and the reason why we want to do some of this collaboration is because if we get a project come in that's on Metaverse or play to earn or any project at all, if I know that we've got partnerships and collaborations with groups who are experts in these fields, then we can push those projects off to those groups to say, can you check this out? Can you give it the kind of gold stamp of approval to say, yeah, these guys have got good vision and we like the sound of their projects. And that might also then determine how much money we invest. So if a project comes in that sounds absolutely great, but when we're unsure of its roadmap, or they're not quite sure of what they want to do, then our investment level may reduce versus a project that comes in that we say, hey, well, look, can you guys talk to the Crazyrichcoin, because these guys are experts in this field. And you may look at them and say, this team know what they're doing. They've got a good roadmap. They've got a good understanding of the metaverse. Maybe it's something that we could kind of then push to you to put on your launch pad if they need that support. And then that gives us also then that kind of level of confidence that we can invest more money in that company or in that project. So that's kind of like just an example kind of synergy of what I'm trying to do and achieve, is by bringing in experts in different fields together to kind of support Sun. So there's that kind of mutual benefit of us kind of talking about projects together that are interesting and upcoming. Those projects benefit from being put through a proper due diligence by experts, but then they also gain from investment in the Sun token. So I see us doing a lot of trades, but I don't want to go too crazy, because I don't want us, you know, we've kind of got to be careful that we don't overreach ourselves, particularly in the first couple of weeks. But our first kind of 2 weeks is going to be kind of simple DeFi trading. But our roadmap, we've kind of like got a detailed 1 month roadmap after launch. And so, you know, I've talked about going to BSC and going to Polygon and doing going to cross-chain investing, and then going across blockchains to do farming. All these, there's so much kind of complex investments that we can get involved in, which the normal public kind of don't have access to the kind of investments that we'll be doing. So we don't want to go too quickly into it, because we might lose the community because they won't understand it. We'll be moving too fast. So we're going to kind of slowly take our community with us on the journey. So as we start moving into more complex investments, we can kind of do education sessions to make sure that they understand what we're doing, why we're doing it. And, you know, things like the metaverse, it'd be great to kind of have, you know, maybe 1 or 2 of you guys to come in to just to kind of educate some of our community on what the metaverse is, and kind of where it's going, what the future holds, because that's the real value add for us, that, you know, we can start educating people on where the future is for it. So sorry, that was a very long answer to your question, but we'll have to play it by ear, I think.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Thank you very much. It was very detailed, actually. Yeah. So that's it from me. I don't want to keep your community too long. I appreciate you popping into SUN to talk to us. So does anyone else on the call, or Darius, do you have any other questions for SUN?
Chris, I actually have a question for you.
Sure.
May I know where SUN is based in?
Yeah, so I'm in the UK. So I've got a core team of 5 that are spread between America, Dubai, and the UK. So the company itself is based in the Caribbean, because we are an investment vehicle. So in the UK and US regulators, you need to be kind of licensed and have a regulatory. You need to be approved by the regulators to operate. And so in the UK, I don't know what it's like in Singapore, but in the UK, it's almost impossible to get regulatory status. So that's why we're creating an offshore company to protect the team and to protect our holders. You know, because we're vesting our tokens too off pre-sale. So we're going to have a very long roadmap, a lot like yourselves. So we need to make sure that we're thinking ahead for regulation and what that would mean to the token. So, but as soon as we've launched, and as soon as the team wallet has enough funding in there to apply for regulatory status, then that's what we're going to do. And that will give us the license to operate in the real world. So we'll have a real world part of our investment fund, and we'll have a crypto side to our investment fund. A bit like, you know, what you're doing with, you've got real world property and you've got metaverse property. That's kind of where our long-term future will lie as well.
I've got a question. Can you hear me?
Hey, Rob.
Hey, good morning. Well, it's morning for me anyway. Yeah, so I don't know if I missed it because I was a little late, but can you describe the protections that are in place for the investment wallet? And also, you know, because we've all been in projects, we've all heard stories, right, where, you know, someone on the team didn't share the long-term vision and did something nefarious and all that. And I know you guys have protections in place, but if you could just take a moment to just briefly describe those. And also, at what point do you determine when an investment is ready to be returned to the stakeholders in the company, like to holders, like the 80% profit? Like, for example, let's say you're starting with 100,000 in your investment wallet. If you turn that into 200,000, are you taking the additional 100,000 that you generated from profits? These are all just like theoretical numbers, right? And distributing 80% of that back, or are you waiting until you've got, let's say, $1 million in the investment wallet? Or like, how are you? I know it's a pretty loaded question, but if you can just do your best.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I think I can answer those. I'll try at least. So, in terms of wallet protection, we'll obviously be sort of buying and selling investments. So every time something is in Ethereum, that Ethereum will be held in a safe. It's a multi-sig wallet cut by a company called I don't know how you say it actually. Gnosis. It's GNOSIS, and so you can Google them. And so that is a multi-sig wallet, which I am the owner of, and I have 5 members of the core team who all have to, or 2 of them at least, have to sign off any transaction to remove Ethereum from that wallet. So the main store of Ethereum, the main store of the investment fund, is protected by that multi-sig security. Now, Ethereum, you can't trade with that wallet. So any investment we want to purchase, so let's say we want to buy the Crazyrichcoin, we have to take Ethereum out of that, put it into a normal wallet, like a Coinbase wallet, for example, that has got 2 FA, 2 FA on, and put as much security as we can, and then we kind of invest in coins with that. And unfortunately, there isn't any way of having kind of like that multi-sig kind of security on wallets that you can kind of trade and invest quickly with. So as a corporation, we've got an IT security document which dictates who in the company, which is pretty much me at the moment, holds the private keys for those wallets that aren't covered by the multi-sig. And so that's the kind of most secure way of kind of managing the process. And that's how we will manage it. So we'll have, in the company, we'll have the main safe, which holds the store of Ethereum, and then we'll have probably 3 different wallets, kind of Coinbase wallets, which then manage the different types of trades and investments that we do. And so when we sell an investment and there is profit, that profit turns to obviously Ethereum, which is our base kind of currency, and then that Ethereum is sent straight back to the safe, so that the only things that are held in the wallets are tokens, the kind of projects and coins that we've actually invested in.
And just, if you don't mind me just jumping in real fast here just for a second, I appreciate the time you're spending on the response. So even when they're on the investment wallet, or like the Coinbase wallet that would be used for trades, they're still, with the legal structure that you've put in place, there are legal ramifications, and there's a high degree of accountability among core team, regardless, for whenever they're handling funds, right?
Yes, that's correct. So every member of the core team is doxed. And the only people that will have, and the wallets will be owned by the corporation, by the company, and only people who are authorized by that company will have access to that wallet and its private keys. And at the moment, that's going to be me plus one kind of trusted individual in the team as a kind of disaster recovery.
So yeah, that sounds good. I appreciate that. And
no, that's
yeah,
right.
I guess just the last part of the question was, I don't know if you recall the.
Yeah, I got it. It's all good,
okay.
Rob. I remember. So in terms of the profit share, 80% back. So I'd like to think we can do it weekly. But it also depends on how the community would like it, because I'd like to hope that one option that the community are going to choose is to reinvest the money. So there might be occasions where we do a split. The community may say, hey, well, look, let's put 20% back in the investment fund to grow it, because the more we grow it, then the more we can invest, and then the more money that fund's going to have, the bigger investments we can make, and then the profit share back to the community goes even higher. So we'll be kind of trying to steer the community and what makes sense for the success of the token. But obviously, the fund will grow anyway through taxation of the coin. So the 80% returns will literally be managed kind of by a community vote. We might try to kind of influence that with kind of just kind of company growth suggestions.
And the distribution of those funds, and I'm super sorry, I'm jumping in here. Maybe other people are waiting to ask, but the distribution of that is also based on like a percentage of holdings, right? So have you guys thought about like a DApp for those kinds of collections that maybe everybody can pay their own individual little gas fee whenever, kind of like the way some of these Ethereum reflection tokens do? Is that something you're looking at?
Yep, it is. We're actually having our website fully rebuilt in March, and that will include dApps for a more sophisticated ledger that will be open to the whole community, so they can see all the money movements in and out for transparency. And it will also, exactly as you say, it will also give the ability for people to kind of go in and collect their tokens, because not everyone will be a large holder. And so for some people, they may need to wait, on the assumption they want Ethereum, they may need to wait until obviously their collection's big enough to go in and claim.
That all sounds fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
No problem at all. No problem. Anyone else with any questions? Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, we need to go ahead and blacklist Rob's wallet. His hands are made of paper. He cheats everywhere. He's a well-known cheater.
Shut your mouth, Johnny. I'm Johnny's
All right.
father. He's just mad because I grounded him yesterday. Johnny, get off of Telegram. You're
All
not
right,
supposed to be
sorry.
using your phone.
Sorry,
Don't worry,
Dad.
Rob. I'm just gonna mute Johnny there.
Unmute-
All good.
Unmutable.
All right, guys. So we've obviously got Crazyrichcoin. So just moving it back to them for a minute, because this AMA is around kind of, you know, looking at synergies with those guys. So Darius and the team, is there any other questions from you guys, or do any of my wonderful Sun community have any questions for Crazyrichcoin? Otherwise, we'll kind of wrap up, and we'll kind of encourage each other to go to each other's communities, and we'll continue this great dialogue to continue over the course of the week.
Yeah, I think we're all good. Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Right. Well, wonderful. Well, yeah. Well, thank you so much for you and your team for talking to us, and we all hope for a safe launch for Sun on the 14th, and then we'll in the meantime continue talking offline, and hope that we can progress with our conversations as time moves forward. So thank you very much for your time, everybody, and we'll all speak soon.
Good,
Yeah,
good luck
thank
to your
you.
launch. Thanks
Yeah,
for
good
having
luck
us.
to your
Thank
launch.
you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.